Why didn't most fans like where Barney ended up in the finale of the show? What made his breakup with Robin so pointless? And what alternate ending for Barney would satisfy the fans? Hi, I'm Clive, and you're watching OSSA Movies. Barneys Evolution through the years. A womanizer who will do anything to find a new woman to hook up with every single night. A man with possibly the biggest amount of daddy issues. A guy who loves his suits more than anything. Sounds like the worst character ever, right? And yet, Barney Stinson became a fan favorite and one of the most lovable characters on TV. Partly, of course, thanks to Neil Patrick Harris's undeniable charm and his ability to show this flawed character's gentle, kind, and caring side. I mean, how could you not love him?
I'm awesome.
And of course, How I Met Your Mother fans fell in love with Barney because of his incredible character development. If you think about it, he showed more growth than anyone else in the series. Although Lily and Marshall had kids, and Ted changed a bit after every serious relationship of his came to an end, none of them grew like Stinson did. The Have You Met Ted and Suit Up Barney we saw hanging out in a bar in the first episode of the series, and the All I Have Is Yours Barney holding his newborn daughter are two completely different people. He went through so much. With Nora, Quinn, and of course Robin, he learned what it felt like to love someone. He became ready for a commitment and learned how important it is to tell the truth in a relationship. He started taking care of his friends and believed in marriage. Remember how he went all the way to San Francisco to find Lily and persuade her to come back to Marshall? Or how he asked for Ted's permission to propose to Robin without actually asking him? But turning from a womanizer into a loving man wasn't the only thing that changed in our beloved Stinson. After growing up without his father, it was difficult for Barney to meet him and forgive him for not being present during his childhood. It was probably one of the hardest things he'd ever done, and very few people would give an absent parent another chance. But Barney found enough courage in his heart to do it. He invited his newfound dad to his wedding and actually wanted him to get back together with his mom. Even Barney's career and job title weren't exactly as shady as they appeared. It was all an elaborate plan to send the guy who broke his heart to jail. And it worked.
Peace out, loser.
You son of a b****! I'll destroy you!
And in the final episode, when Barney welcomed his baby daughter, it turned out that he always wanted to become a father, which is unexpected from the man who came up with, "Not a Father's Day." But if you were attentive, there were quite a few hints that Barney wanted a baby. We'll elaborate on them later, so stay tuned. And meanwhile, let's see why we can slam Barney's ending. Why fans didn't like it so much? Divorce from Robin and back to his old ways. Is there any other kind of outcome that could be worse for Barney? Although not every fan enjoyed watching a whole season about his wedding to Robin, it was great to see Barney so committed. Besides, he and Robin had such incredible chemistry. They were both strong, independent, and confident personalities who respected each other at all times and accepted each other as they were. Remember how Barney said to Robin that he enjoyed not feeling needed when they were together for the first time? Or how he knew her so well that he even managed to come up with a whole proposal plan that he called the Robin? He always admired her as an independent, career-driven person who wanted adventure. He never wanted her to change for him or compelled her to want the same things he did. Barney and Robin were perfect for each other. Well, not too perfect, but we'll get back to that later. But a few minutes after they said their I do's, they suddenly decided not to make it work. The showrunners didn't even give us a decent reason for their divorce. They just showed us one fight where the couple fought about Robin's business trips. How come they couldn't solve that one conflict? The second problem with the ending was Barney going straight back to behaving in the exact same way he did at the beginning of the show. Hitting on easy women, playing charades, probably writing a new version of the playbook, and even scoring what he called the perfect month. Sure, you might say that he spiraled because of the failed marriage, but remember how he was after calling off his engagement to Quinn? He was the grown-up, caring Barney, who was still incredibly mature. So, him returning to the playbook was a slap in the face for How I Met Your Mother fans. A huge Marshall-style slap in the face.
You're gonna cry.
Yeah, our awesome Barney certainly deserved a more legendary life. The third problem with his ending was how he became a father. Don't think that we're against him being a dad. It made sense, especially when you see all the hints about it throughout the series. Remember how in season 2 he was against his brother James getting married to his boyfriend? And how he suddenly accepted it when he learned that they were going to adopt a baby?
We are gonna grow out uncle and nephew style.
And then, when he was disappointed in women after Robin didn't get back to him like she promised and stayed with her then boyfriend Kevin, Barney wanted him and Ted to become a couple of single bros and adopt a child. Attentive fans knew all along that Barney wanted to celebrate Father's Day more than anyone. But the problem was how he became a father. I mean, we really didn't want him to have a child from a one-night stand. It felt like after all those years of watching his personal growth, he deserved a much deeper connection with the mother of his child. And yet, before we present you with our alternative versions of Barney's Ending, let's elaborate on one more aspect of his relationship with Robin. Barney and Robin were doomed from the start. There were a few reasons for this. First of all, the writers knew from the very beginning they wanted Ted to end up with Robin. They had his kid's speech pre-recorded while the second season was being filmed, so they had to somehow lead up to it. But since the show lasted longer than they initially expected, it had tons of other storylines, including Robin and Barney's relationship, which actually only happened because of the perfect on-set chemistry between Kobe Smulders and Neil Patrick Harris. So, despite all the build-up to Robin and Barney becoming a married couple, they had to break them up and make Robin come back to Ted. Pretty lame reason to couple up characters who separated a long time ago, huh? That would be the lamest thing ever if there were no other reasons for this ending. Let's see what they are. Although Robin and Barney seemed perfect for each other, they actually weren't, and they spoke about it repeatedly in the days before their wedding. Both of them were so fiercely independent that they never asked each other before doing something, so they could rarely work as a team.
I don't know. Maybe we're just incapable of working as a unit.
Robin didn't fully trust Barney until the last moment before their wedding, when he promised to never lie to her again.
And no matter how much they loved each other, they were never each other's priorities. So, although their divorce was way too quick and painful, it was actually inevitable. In a way, we can understand Barney's ending, but we would still like more for him. Let's see what it could have been. What ending did Barney deserve? The best ending we have in mind for Barney obviously was to stay with Robin. This way, we'd never see Ted stealing the blue French horn again and getting back together with her. They could have made things work when Robin became a famous reporter and had to travel around the world. If they overcame this challenge, it would have made the relationship much stronger. And one day, they would come back to New York and settle down there, because Robin eventually did anyway. But okay, let's assume that Barney and Robin weren't happy together. So the next alternative would be for Barney to meet another woman. From his relationship with Robin, we can see that he finally wanted to become a family guy. So why wouldn't he fulfill this desire with someone else? I mean, was Robin the last woman to fall in love with him, or what? He was so charming and lovable, and he matured so much throughout the series. If he didn't just regress back to the womanizer from the series' pilot episode, he could definitely meet another woman, fall in love, get married, and have a child with her. After all, Barney becoming a father perfectly completed his character arc, especially since he fathered a daughter. It changed his perspective of women so much and finally made him stop seeing them as objects of pleasure. Becoming a dad to a baby girl turned him into a much better person, and it was incredibly rewarding to see it. The only thing is, his daughter shouldn't have come from number 31 of his perfect month. She should have been a child conceived in love. For Barney, it would have been a much more legendary finale. Don't you think so? But was the real ending of How I Met Your Mother that bad for Barney and everyone else? If you still hate it, watch another video on our channel where we give its most detailed analysis ever. And who knows, maybe you'll change your mind. And meanwhile, let us know what you think about Barney's ending. Share your theories and alternative versions in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay awesome. Thanks for watching.